Addie. I am a knitter and a stay-at-home mum, and I live in the southeast of the UK with my husband, my daughter and my dog, who had to have some minor surgery done yesterday and so is wearing a cone. He is in here with me. He's just settled down on his chair, but he's a little bit cumbersome. He's walking into things all the time, so if you can hear something kind of crashing around in the background, I do apologise, but unfortunately he's not got his usual spatial awareness because of the cone. So he's fine. It wasn't huge surgery, it was very minor, just to remove a lump on his face, but because of that he is a little bit more noisy at the moment. Happy October! We are now into October. I've got no finished objects today. I have one acquisition and I've got a lot of whips. I've got 5 whips. 6 if you count one that I haven't touched since last time I spoke to you, which I may or may not show because it is currently still in a box over there in hiding because everything else has kind of taken over my life. So yeah, should we just get into it? I hope you're all well. Hope you've had a lovely couple of weeks. Oh, one last housekeeping thing actually. I'm going to try and upload a new podcast every other Thursday at around 6 p.m. So hopefully that I can stick to that schedule. Now that I've said it, it's probably like everything is going to go wrong. And so we'll try. We're going to see how we go. Obviously with school holidays and things like that, things may change. I will try and keep everybody updated as to as and when a podcast is coming, but hopefully we can rely on the idea that they are going to be up every other Thursday at around about 6 p.m. So it's been 2 weeks since I last filmed, and so I've got some progress to show. Just gonna have a quick sip. And we can get into it. So my first, well, I suppose what I should talk about first is what I am wearing. So today I'm wearing my Ink and Brass pullover by Dani Sunshine. And I knit this in Sandnesgarn thin, I'm going to say thin peer gynt, but I think it's actually tin peer gynt. And I think this is like a forest green, and this is the whitest white that you can get, the whitest shade. I think it is actually called white or white 01 or something like that. It's not like the marzipan or anything like creamy like that. It's just white. I finished this quite a while ago now. I think it might have been, it was way before the summer, and we're just getting to the point now where this is sort of what I want to wear. It's fingering weight, so it's not particularly heavy, and it's warm but not heavy, so it's exactly what I want for this time of year. Although actually today it's probably slightly too warm. I'm quite warm. It's like 22 degrees in here. What else can I say about this? I knit, I think it was size 2. I've got a little bit of positive ease in here, not huge amounts, but that's exactly what I wanted, because I wanted something that was going to be layerable underneath everything else that I have, which has got tons of positive ease. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Right. I'm all over the place this morning. I've had a terrible morning, terrible drop off. And obviously with the dog having a cone on, it's not gone my way. So I'm sorry if I'm a bit all over the place this morning, but that is just how life is going today. So now that we've done what I'm wearing, we can get into my whips, seeing as I have no finished objects for you today. First whip is something that I haven't shown yet because I cast it on after I filmed my last podcast, and it is almost finished. All I've got left is the button band, and it is my jacket number 1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. And it's like this all over textured pattern cardigan with a v-neck, and it's got so much positive ease. This is so oversized. So the pattern recommends between 25 and 30 centimeters of positive ease, and I have an 82 centimeter chest, which is I think 32 inches, roughly around about that. And I am knitting the extra small, which is the smallest size that this pattern comes in, and I'm over on the positive, on the recommended ease. So I have 31 centimeters of positive ease as opposed to the recommended 25 to 30. So this is really, really big on me. And like, obviously I chose it because it's got quite a lot of positive ease. That's generally the kind of pattern that I would go for, something with a lot of positive ease. I like a really big oversized garment, and I like having the option of layering. But if there had been a smaller size, like an extra small, I would have liked to have been on the smaller end of that ease, because I have quite narrow shoulders, and obviously this is a v-neck. When I try this on, it's kind of almost trying to slip off my shoulders already. So I mean, I could have chosen a thinner yarn and knit it at a tighter gauge, but then I would have run into issues with the pattern and everything. I mean, I'm not dissing My Favourite Things Knitwear. Obviously, this was made to have 25 to 30 centimetres of ease, and I just don't fit into that, and I could have chosen another pattern. I wanted to knit this, it's something that I liked, and I mean, I could have done things to change it, but it is slightly unfortunate that I couldn't have chosen another size. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, so I knit this in World of Wool Isle in the colour Vela, I think it is. I'll pop it on screen somewhere so that you can see the spelling, because I've probably butchered that name. But it's this beautiful kind of like solid grey. Here it is. This is my last skein. And yeah, I think it's really lovely. It's an Aran weight wool, and it doesn't have the percentages on here. Or does it? And I'm just not seeing it. It does not. I'll see if I can get the percentages of it and pop it on screen. But this is a Shetland and Blue-Faced Leicester 100% British wool blend, and it comes in 100-gram balls, which I really love. I love it when things come in 100-gram balls because it means less joining of yarn, which I don't mind. I know it's called spit splicing, but I have never actually spat on my yarn. It just feels a bit disrespectful to my knitting. So I just use a bit of water and just, you know, friction them together. So yeah, it's a lovely yarn to work with. This softens up beautifully. So in the ball, I'd say it's a little bit, like, I'm aware of it, and before blocking, you're aware of it. It's not got a prickle, but you know it's there. Sort of like with a lot of people say with mohair, you know it's there. It's not like wearing a sort of 100% superwash merino and just being able to just chuck it on like a sweatshirt. You know it's there, and if it gets hot, then it's probably going to prickle a little bit. But after blocking, it's so soft, like next to skin soft. Not merino soft, which I think people are going to get fed up with me saying, but soft enough that I could wear a camisole underneath this and just this on top, and I wouldn't really have a problem. So this part of my back piece, from sort of like the neckband to about here, is all blocked, because I had a bit of a panic about my gauge after I'd finished knitting the back piece and I was about to pick up for the front. So I was sort of thinking, I held my swatch up to it and I measured it against my swatch. I was like, oh, this is not right. Obviously I've knitted my swatch much more loosely than I've been knitting this. So after a bit of a block, this has actually come back to my swatch gauge. Yeah, so this bit is blocked, and then down here obviously isn't. And just the difference in the pattern, even my husband sort of pointed it out to me and was like, oh, it looks so much better, that top bit, than the bottom bit. And I sort of had to explain, oh yeah, it's because that bit's blocked. So yeah, where else can we go with this? So I'm using the recommended needle size of 5.5mm needles, and I am now, I think, just about getting on gauge. My stitch gauge, once again, is fine. It's just my row gauge that may be slightly out, but I'm not overly fussed. So all I've got left to do, I finished the last sleeve last night, and I've just got the button band left, which is a double knit button band. So I'm waiting for it to I'm waiting to get frustrated with it halfway through. I was thinking about doing the button band before I did the sleeves, and I just thought, oh, you know what, I'll just get the sleeves done and then it's just the button band, because I would like to wear this to the knitting and stitching show on Friday. So it's now currently Tuesday, and so that would give me, I mean, the chances are I'm probably not going to get this done. It's probably not going to happen. So I've kind of just given up on that idea, and I'll have to figure out something else to wear to the knitting and stitching show. But I think it's also going to be like 25 degrees. So I don't know if this is really going to be the best option. Perhaps one of like my knitted tees is going to be a better option for that, because I feel like it's going to be quite warm in there. I mean, I've not been to the knitting and stitching show since, I think it's been about 5 years. It may even have been longer. And I remember it being really, really warm. And Octobers now in the UK have become annoyingly warm. So yeah, this is probably not going to be worn to that, but that's fine. I mean, I'd rather enjoy myself and take it at my own pace than rush it and not be happy with it. So yeah, so that is my jacket. Oh, this is really not easy to hold up, is it? That is my jacket number 1 by My Favourite Things Knitwear. Oh, right, number 2 is also a new cast on, but I did talk about this last time. It was in a swatch, and I have now cast it on, and I've decided to knit this as a bit of like an advent knit for October for me, because I was it's a fingering weight jumper, which obviously I have done before multiple times, because all of my tees are, my knitted t-shirts are all fingering weight, and so I've done it before, but for some reason I was just stalling on it, and I think it was the maths of working out which, like, how many rounds of stripes to do and how many rounds per stripe to do and everything, and working out if I was going to have enough yarn, which now that I've started I've realised was a really silly thing to get hung up on, because the pattern is written so that you use each colour twice, and I'm only using each colour once, so I have more than enough yarn, and I've been weighing my yarn as I go, and I have so much. I don't think I've used more than, so I should probably just show this, shouldn't I? Hang on a minute. So what I am talking about is my Stripes sweater by Andrea Mowry, and it was the one that I was going to be knitting in the minis from the Lonely Knitter that I showed last week, and I'm doing 1 mini per stripe, so I'll have 14 different stripes, different coloured stripes going down, and I believe in the pattern photos, 14 stripes going down her sample for the longer length. And so because of that, I don't have to repeat any colours. I'm going to just be able to use each colour once, and then I'll obviously use more yarn for the ones further down where I've got to do a stripe on the sleeve and the stripe on the body. So what I was going to do was I was going to knit 1 stripe per day, and I'm doing 6 rounds per stripe. So that doesn't really seem all that unobtainable. I mean, it might be a different story obviously when I've split the sleeves and I'm essentially doing like 3 stripes per day, but I've decided to get myself a bit ahead of the game so that if I do kind of have a day where I don't want to knit on this, I run out of time, or I've got too many other things on, or I don't finish my stripe, then I've got a little bit of a buffer, because I would like to have this done by the end of October. Otherwise I think I'm going to kind of run out of time to be able to really wear it, apart from maybe like underneath another cardigan, because it does get quite chilly quite quickly sometimes around here. I've just realised this is all tangled, so let me just untangle this. So here she is so far, over here, there we go. So I have done 3 yoke increases, and I think I've come to the end of the short rows. I've not double checked the pattern yet. So I'm onto I've just finished the 4th stripe. So by the time this goes up, this will go up on Thursday. So I'm actually behind at the moment for what you're seeing, but I'm ahead for myself, if that makes sense, because today is Tuesday and this will go up on Thursday. So I will have another stripe in by then, at least. But so I've chosen to, so there's a couple of collar options in this jumper, so in the pattern. So there's one bit where you start with the collar and you just do a single collar and you just keep going, and then there's, I believe, 2 structured collar options where you pick up for the collar after casting. So you cast on for the yoke and then you knit the yoke and then you pick up for the collar and knit the collar afterwards to give you a little bit more structure. And you can either do a single or a folded. So I've chosen to do the folded collar, and I did that after I knitted my first stripe. So the collar and all of the like middle stripes in between each mini are in Hold the Door, and then my first stripe is called Rhaenyra, the second is the Lady Lena, the third one, which is this one here, is You Know Nothing Jon Snow, and then my 4th one is the Red Woman. And they were all from the Ice and Fire collection that Laura from The Lonely Knitter came out with earlier this year, because I think they arrived back in July, and it's taken me this long to cast this on, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll get it done because it'll be a lovely fingering weight jumper and it'll be really soft and I can wear it fairly soon. And yeah, I just stalled on it all because of some maths, which is just really silly. But I mean, I've started it now, and this is so much fun. I mean, it's one of those things that I thought I was gonna need to just like convince myself to knit it by just knitting 1 stripe per day, but I knit all of this. No, it wasn't all yesterday. I knit these 3. Ooh. So yeah, this one, and this one all yesterday, and I did the collar and the first stripe on Sunday, so, and cast on Sunday. So it's been really, really quick, and I think because of the changing colours and everything, and just seeing how each of these minis knit up is so exciting. I mean, it may all change once I'm doing like 3 stripes per day, but it's so much fun. Right, so this, I'm not knitting on the recommended needles. So the recommended needles for this are 3.75 millimeters for your main fabric, and then I think it's 3.25 for your ribbing, whereas I'm using 3.5 for my ribbing and 4 millimeters for my main fabric. And I think the drape of this is absolutely gorgeous. It's so sort of light drapey, and I think it's going to be a really lovely kind of light layer for, you know, those chilly mornings. And I think because it's so soft, because it is a superwash merino and nylon base, I think I'm going to be able to just wear it almost as like a long sleeve tee underneath a cardigan or something in the colder months. So I think it's going to be a really sort of versatile piece to have in my wardrobe, and it's going to be so much fun. I don't have a huge amount of colourful knits. I've realised recently that I do knit a lot in sort of the beiges, the browns. I have a couple of greens, but everything's very muted, and I just wanted something that was going to be really like in your face, colourful, and just completely different to everything else. I feel like I'm coming into like my colour phase. Over the summer I knit a like cherry red Montpellier top by November Knits, and I think that kind of sparked it. That was the, okay, yeah, we're getting into our colourful period now, because now I feel like I need a really bright red jumper, and I want to get something knitted up in like that kind of burnt orange. So I think that's going to be something I look out for next when I eventually start looking for some more yarn to add to my collection. Oh, so the pattern gauge is 21 and a half stitches and 36 rounds to 10 centimeters or 4 inches, and I'm getting roughly about that on a 4mm needle. I chose to knit size 2. I have knit another one of Andrea Mowry's jumper patterns. I knit the Metamorphic, I don't think it was last year, I think it might have been the year before, and I knit size 2 in that, and that fits me perfectly, almost bang on. But I probably could have gone for a size down to get a little bit less ease, get it more to sort of like an almost no to negative ease garment, because I do tend to wear it like underneath my dungarees and with all of my high-waisted jeans and everything. So it would be nice to have less ease, but because my stitch gauge was slightly off on my swatch, I think I had 23 and a half stitches on a 3.75mm needle, and now I've gone up to a 4. I thought, oh, I'll knit size 2, and then I've got a buffer, because I didn't think that I was going to get an extra, like I was going to get 2 stitches less by going up 1 needle size. So I should be getting somewhere between a size 1 and a size 2, which is fine for me, because size 1 gave me 2 inches of positive ease. Size 2 is giving me nearly 6, I think. So the recommended ease range is 2 to 6 inches of positive ease. So I'm in the range for both of those. So I should be getting sort of somewhere bang smack in the middle, which is great for me, because I do like to have that extra little bit of movement. And also I do find that Andrea Mowry's patterns come up quite short on me because of my long torso again. So this is going to be nicely cropped as well, because I don't really want to be adding in extra stripes of the same colours again, because I feel like it's going to look a bit funny if I've got them all once and then I've only got a couple of them twice. So yeah, hopefully I won't have to, but we shall see. But I think this is going to be so gorgeous. I mean, all of these colours are just absolutely stunning. Every single time I knit another one, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. My next colour is this one, which is In the Godswood. And it's just beautiful. I know I like banged on about these last time when I had them still in the hanks, but they're just absolutely stunning. I mean, I absolutely adore all of Laura's yarns, but they're just so lovely. I just love them, I really do. And like every single stripe I put in, I'm like, oh, I wish I had a whole jumper in this, but realistically my bank balance would not have enjoyed that. So yeah, it's going to be really nice to knit this up like as a stripe a day almost, and by the middle of October I'll have a finished jumper and it won't have felt like I've just had to knit it like solidly, and I will have broken it up a little bit. And it's just, yeah, it's just so much fun. It's a fun knit. It's just really, really fun. So yeah, that is my stripes. Okay, so that was whip number 2. Whip number 3 is another new cast on since last time I filmed, but also another thing that I swatched for. So it's the like self-drafted circular yoked striped jumper that I was going to knit for my daughter in this, oh, hang on. Like I said, it's absolute chaos today. I'm all over the place. Nothing is working. Right, so it's this sort of textured but not textured knit that I'm doing for my daughter, who is 3.5, and so I'm using Drops Daisy and this beautiful boucle from, once again, from Laura from The Lonely Knitter, in the colour Little Dove, which was also from her Ice and Fire collection. And I ordered a full skein because my daughter said she liked it. So here we are. We've just got a little double folded collar, and it's just circular yoke, really, really plain with these like thick stripes. And I have split 4 sleeves. I am going to have to do a little bit of frogging with this because, so I'm using her chest measurement, and I tried this on her the other day, and I think maybe we do want a little bit more ease in the underarm depth. And initially, when I worked out all of my measurements and everything, I did put in more ease in the underarm, and then I thought, oh no, it's going to be really far down. That feels like it's going to be really, really big. And then I changed it, and I should have gone with my gut and just stuck with it, because I mean, I've self-drafted things for myself, for my husband before, and I like should have just stuck to what I know and just gone with my gut, my original measurements, and it would have been fine. But either way, I've only got a frog, like, what is that, like 1.5 inches? So yeah, I mean, it really wasn't very much, because it's only, I think it's just under 4 centimetres that I've got a frog to get back to the underarms, and I'm just going to add in a little bit more length in the yoke. So yeah, I think it should be fine. But this was purely to kind of get her to wear jumpers again, because she's just reached the point where she's like, I don't want to wear jumpers. She wants to choose what she wants to wear all the time, and that's not always seasonally appropriate, because she's 3.5. She sees the sunshine and she thinks it's like 35 degrees out there and wants to wear summer dresses, and it's actually like 12 and it's cold. So this was my thing of like trying to make pretty girly things that go with her summer dresses and everything, so that she can still wear them but also not freeze to death. So I mean, it's coming out exactly how I wanted it to. It's this it's beautifully pastel. It's like, it's got that textured element from the boucle, and yeah, I feel like I need to knit one of these for myself. Perhaps this will be like my red jumper, and I'll have it for like the festive season as well, and I just will need to find some like perfect red boucle to knit it in, because this is just gorgeous. And this Drops Daisy, it's a new base from Drops. It's non-superwash merino, and it's so soft. It's lovely. I'd say it's like Sanders Garn Sunday, sorry, double Sunday on a budget, and it's lovely. Like, it's really, really lovely. And the boucle as well is also just so soft. And yeah, I think the texture change in these stripes is just lovely. How many times am I going to say lovely? So I'm knitting this on a 4.5mm needle, and I'm getting 19 stitches and 26 rows, 10 centimetres. So it's knitting up really, really quickly. because it's obviously a kid's knit and it's on quite a big gauge. So I'm hoping to have this done in the next sort of couple of weeks, and well, hopefully before the next couple of weeks. Depends how much time I actually spend knitting this and don't just knit other things, because I did all of the progress on this in about 2 days, 2 evenings, not even that, maybe an afternoon and an evening. And then I realised that the yoke was not long enough and I put it down and never picked it up again. So yeah, I think this should knit up really, really quickly as well, and then I should have it ready for her to be able to wear. Because it's quite a loose gauge, I don't think it'll be overly kind of cumbersome for her to wear either, because you know how sometimes kids knits are a little bit stiff at times. Yeah, it's got some lovely drape, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really lovely addition to her wardrobe, and it's in all of her favourite colours, so hopefully we will actually get some good wear out of this one, and it'll be kind of a new staple piece. So yeah, that's whip number 3. Right, so whip number 4 is my husband's Christmas knit. I have made a fair bit of progress, considering the fact that I can only knit this when he's not in the house, so for like 3 hours on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but not really 3 hours, because it's only like 2 hours by the time I've got all of my kind of jobs done, walked the dog and gotten back from the nursery run, and then obviously left in time to go and pick her up from the nursery run. So it's not a lot of time, is what I'm trying to say. And so I showed this last time, and I think I had only knit the back piece, and now I have knit, this is really hard to show because it's now got 2 cables in it. So now I have knit both front pieces and joined them, and then also joined them to the back and joined in the round, and I have started the first sleeve. So I'm getting there. I decided that I was just going to knit the sleeve, knit both sleeves and the collar before I finish the body. Oh, I haven't realised I haven't actually told you what this pattern is. So this is the Dad Sweater by Gently Chaotic Knits, and it's the broad shoulder size 3, and I'm knitting it in woolly knit cones in their British wool base in cream and chestnut, and it's giving me this beautiful marl. Anyway, so I have joined in the round and started the sleeve, and I've started the short, so it's got a short row sort of like sleeve cap to begin with, because it's got a set-in sleeve. So I've done sort of like 8 rounds in or something, really not that far, because I put this down on Thursday and then obviously couldn't work on it on Friday, and then today I am filming this, so hopefully be able to get some more work done on this tomorrow, if this isn't a massive video to edit. But yeah, I think this is going really well. I'm getting there slowly with it. It's definitely a longer knit, because it's on a slightly, well, it's not on a small gauge. I mean, it's like a DK weight pattern, so, well, it's a worsted weight pattern, but I'm using DK weight yarn. I mean, it's working out well for me that I'm getting gauge with 2 strands of fingering instead of 1 strand of worsted. So yeah, I measured this the other day against another jumper that I knit for my husband, and it seems to be coming out the right size, which is good, because like I said last time, and every time I get this jumper out, I've already knit this once and it was not the right size. So hopefully this one is all gonna be fine. But yeah, this is exactly what I wanted from this jumper, and I think it's gonna turn out really nicely. And we are now, so it's the 3rd of October today? Yeah, it's the 3rd of October today, and I've got 2 sleeves and the neckband and the rest of the body to do. So I think I'm on track to get this done ready for Christmas, considering the fact that I have limited amounts of time to knit this. We shall see. This may end up being something that I have to knit when he's in the room. I mean, he knows that he's getting a jumper for Christmas. He just doesn't know what jumper. So hopefully it can remain a secret. So yeah, flying down on that one. So yeah, that was what, whip number 4? Whip number 5 is also for my husband. Oh no, I'm losing stitches. Anyway, so this is the hoodie that I'm knitting for my husband, which has not had a lot of progress on it because I started new things and it got put down. So I think I was just on the yoke last time, and now I have split for sleeves, so we now look like this, and it kind of looks like an actual cardigan hoodie type thing now instead of sort of like a banana. So we've got the raglan, and there's one sleeve, and I've also had him try this on and it seems to be fitting kind of exactly how we wanted it to. So my next step with this, I've got a little bit of yarn left to finish off knitting some more of the body. So I'm going to get to the end of that tiny bit and then I'm going to knit a sleeve just to double check, because the last time I attempted to knit this, I knit one sleeve and then I got my husband to try it on, and he had way too much ease in the sleeve. So I went back, adjusted my numbers, and this is obviously the next round of knitting it. So we've hopefully got it right this time. So yeah, I'm gonna knit the sleeve, get him to try it on again, and double check that it's got enough ease so that it matches the body but doesn't sort of drown him. And then I'll continue with the body, knit the other sleeve and knit the hood and then knit the button band. So it's slow progress, but we are getting there with this. So this is the Drops Merino Extra Fine, which is their Superwash DK Merino base in dark grey mix, I think it was. I think I kept saying it was charcoal, but it's not charcoal, it's dark grey mix, which I may have just said again wrong, but yeah, there we go. So yeah, that was that one as well. And it's also on 4mm needles, which this is not. This is a 4.5, so I must change this before I start knitting again. And it's like 20, I think it was like 21 stitches or 22 stitches per 10 centimeters, and yeah, I think all of the details of this one I spoke about in my last episode, so I have obviously forgotten to put it in my notes for today. Oh dear, this may end up being an episode that I have to refilm because this is just utter chaos. I'm not really sure what the matter is today. I think it's because I know that I have got an absolutely insane week coming and my brain's just not got a lot of space at the moment. It's trying to do too much. Anyway, right, so that is my last whip, which has not got a huge amount of progress on it, but it is getting there. I've reached this kind of impasse where everything that I'm working on, I haven't finished anything, and it's not stressing me out because everything takes time. Like, knitting is not a fast thing. And although I am a faster knitter, I mean, I've been knitting on and off for like 20 years now, which is a horrible idea to think that I have been doing anything for 20 years. It's kind of just like, I don't know, I feel like I've got too many whips on the go. I've started too many things, and my brain is like, I can't focus on one because I'm stressed out that I'm not working on another one. I don't know, does anybody else get that when they have too many whips on the needles? I mean, I'm not a monogamous knitter because I always have multiple things going on. Like I always have a sock, and I always have a jumper as well. But yeah, I've got too many on the needles now, so I need to finish something to like clear out my brain a bit. But yeah, that is now all of them. I would show my peachy pumpkin socks that I showed last time, but they haven't got any progress on them, and they're currently tucked away in my wool basket over there, so I'm not going to show those again because it's just re-showing what I did last time. And so that is about it for actual knitting so far this week. So I do have one acquisition, which is this tin pigment again, because I just buy the same yarns in different colours. So it's the same as what I knit this up in, apart from it's this beautiful sort of mild grey. Yeah, I hope that's focused. Again, I've got my sort of really unprofessional setup of the mirror behind the phone. So hopefully everything's in focus again. So this is colour 1042 in the tin pigment, and I got this from Knit Yarns to knit a jumper for my husband again. And I was initially going to knit this for him and just alter it to fit a men's frame. But I think actually what I'm going to do is use the pattern from my Colour Tip Tee by Gently Chaotic Knits and use the kind of the same formula that I used for her dad's sweater, because it's the same construction, it's just obviously a different gauge, and knit a version for my husband from that, because I know what his preferred yoke depth is and I know what his shoulder width is. So I'm going to do a little bit of maths, and I'll try and get all of the kind of alterations that I do into my Ravelry page, because I'm trying to do my best with my Ravelry to kind of get it back up to date and like put some useful information in there. So a lot of the things that I've knit in the past that I haven't made a Ravelry page for, like as I'm knitting them, may not have like that many kind of useful notes in them as to any alterations that I have made. I will try and keep them, like add in any alterations, but honestly I'm not sure how much I can remember from things that I knit like a year and a half ago. So hopefully what I'm trying to do is anything from now that I'm knitting onwards, I will try and keep sort of up-to-date notes of. So my striped sweater, for example, I've been weighing all of my yarns, and I've put all of my starting and finishing weights for my stripes in there, so that it's got a little bit of useful information in case anybody else wants to knit one out of minis and work out roughly how much yarn they need. I don't know how many people actually look at things like that, but I guess it's useful for me to have as well. And I know not everybody uses Ravelry, so I will also try and kind of add in any useful information into my Instagram posts as well. I don't know if anybody actually uses a blog anymore, because that would be useful, I suppose, if you didn't use Ravelry. But it's also another thing to add into my already small amount of time that I have. So yeah, this will be for a fingering weight jumper for my husband, and I'm hoping to cast this on soon, but I need to, like I say, get some things off my needles because I just don't have enough brain space now. And I've also completely run out of cables for my interchangeables. So couldn't cast this on even if I wanted to without having to order more cables, and I don't think I should do that because it just gives me more excuses to cast more things on and then get more stressed out about them, which I shouldn't be doing because, you know, this is my hobby and not something that should be causing me great amounts of stress. So yeah, that is my only acquisition for today. I have ordered some more yarn from Laura, the Lonely Knitter, because she came out with another, they call it, so it's a group of dyers, and they each pick a film, and the collection is called Saturday Nights at the Movies. So like Saturday night, yeah, you get it anyway. And they were doing a Halloween one, so she chose to do The Shining, which is, I watch The Shining every year on Halloween. It's like a tradition now that we watch it, and we didn't do it last year, so hopefully we are actually going to do it this year. And yeah, I have no self-restraint. And so I ordered it. I ordered the sock set, and last time they did Saturday Nights at the Movies, I ordered the Princess Diaries yarn and knit a tank out of that, so I'm sure I will use it. I mean, who doesn't need more socks? I've just made a hole in one of my knitted pairs of socks, so I obviously need another pair. So that will be coming as well whenever it arrives. I think I had ended up in the pre-order, so it's going to be like, I don't know, 4 weeks or so, maybe. I don't know, that could be wrong. I also didn't read when it was going to arrive because I have no self-restraint when it comes to buying yarn. Anyway, I think that's everything for today. I have waffled on once again, and it's been so chaotic, and I do apologise. And hopefully someone has made it to the end of this. I don't know. Yeah, got my mother-in-law is coming at the end of the week to stay with us for a week or so. So that's going to be lovely. My knitting time has been diminished over the weekends, the past couple of weekends, because we have been building the pantry to go in our kitchen, because we had a new kitchen put in over the summer and could not find a carpenter to do the pantry, and so we decided to do it ourselves. So maybe I'll put in a couple of pictures of before and after of that, as that's what we've been doing. But yeah, I'm about to go into having to do like school application for my daughter, because here in the UK you have to apply before Christmas in their nursery year to get them into primary school, and it's just I'm finding it quite stressful, which is another reason why I'm all over the place, because I'm about to go into that and I'm finding it quite stressful. Yeah, going to be at the Knitting and Stitching show on Friday, which I'm so excited about, because I really wanted to go to Unravel, but I couldn't because of like childcare constraints and things like that, and obviously because my daughter was at nursery and then she was sick as well, so it didn't work out. So I'm really looking forward to going to the Knitting and Stitching show. And yeah, I think that'll be about it for today. Once again, for the 400th time, I'm going to apologise about how chaotic it's been compared to last week, which I feel like was really well planned because it was my first podcast, and now you're seeing actually how chaotic my life is. And yeah, I would love to know what you're knitting, what you're casting on in the not so distant future, what you're trying to, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. But yeah, I'd love to know what you're knitting, so pop it in a comment down below if you want to, and I will see you in a couple of weeks for another podcast. Happy knitting!